My name's Mark Edwards. Most people know me as Eddie, and I co-run the design studio Dr. Me with Ryan Doyle. The work that we do with Dr. Me sort of varies between quite traditional graphic design practice, which is for the music industry a lot of the time, so doing record sleeves and poster design and band logos and things like that, through to more of an art-based practice that's focused around making collage. So we'll sort of skip in between the two quite a lot of the time, which is quite nice.
Hey, I'm Ryan Doyle, one half of Dr. Me, the creative studio. What was my lockdown experience like? It was kind of a blessing in disguise, almost. I had a baby boy, my first son, on the 24th of December. As the world slowly started to slow down, kind of allowed me to really spend the invaluable time watching my son grow every day.
So lockdown was kind of weird for everyone, I guess. Just trying to get into a rhythm, learn how to work from home, which was something that, like as a designer is quite easy to do, but at the same time quite challenging because I was used to having a lot of space in the engine house, whereas sort of being in the spare room wasn't. It was just quite a different space to make work. I sort of broke up the day by cycling for an hour, for the allotted hour a day, which is quite nice, just getting out into Manchester and just doing a quick loop. Or just before lockdown happened, my partner and I, Anita and I, got a small ginger kitten called Jules. So he kept us occupied a lot of the time, and answered the question, do you make better work with a small ginger kitten attacking your feet? The answer is no. We moved to Islington Mill in 2013, and then when Ryan moved to the south of France in 2016, we moved over to the engine house along with 9 or 10 other friends. For those that don't know, it is a sort of standalone 3-storey building that's on the mill grounds, essentially.
When we went into lockdown, me and Eddie probably prepared for lockdown the best way we could because we actually already work remotely. So I don't actually work from the engine house, but I actually work from home and have done for the past 3 years. There came a point about 3 years ago when I met my now wife Beatrice, and she was living in Toulon in France at the time. The opportunity to kind of go and be with this person who I started to make a connection with, also in the south of France in the French Riviera, was kind of too good to pass up. At that moment, we then made a decision that I would be working, I was living in France, so I would be working remotely. I think we weren't really sure about how that would go down, and I think we were both a bit worried maybe it would break our collaborative working partnership. But actually, I think it made it better. It also allows us to kind of be a bit more brutally honest about what we think about a piece of work or an idea that each one of us has. It's kind of strengthened our working relationship.
What we were doing through lockdown work-wise, because obviously a lot of our work dropped off as bands weren't touring, music venues had closed. So although we did have a few things sort of still ticking along, I think a lot of our regular work wasn't happening. Because we've been a studio for 10 years this year, we decided that we were going to put out a monograph book of all of our work, or a lot of our work. And I think that initially we'd planned to run a Kickstarter for it in May, which just seems crazy now because we had to do so much work to the book over the period of lockdown. So just having that time to really get stuck into it has made the book really quite a thing now. It's 560 pages long, and we've just run a successful Kickstarter to raise £10,000 for the actual printing of the thing. So hopefully in about a month's time we'll be sending that off to print. Kind of strangely, if we'd not had lockdown, then obviously the book would have been made, but it would be interesting to see in a parallel universe how good it would be, because I think that being allowed that time and that space to just focus on it a bit more was really invaluable to us.
We had some some interesting projects. Work did slow down a bit, but the projects that we were on kind of grew and evolved and adapted to the situation, because we work a lot within music. One of the first projects called Drop Everything, kind of a collection of music, art, fashion, all colliding on this like remote island off the west of Ireland. But obviously, like we made all the work, got it, and we were all like pretty happy about it. And then boom, everything went to shit, and the Drop Everything had to be cancelled. But in a weird way, the idea of the postcards that we created just was now even more of a perfect fit. So we adapted it slightly. We changed it to say wish we were there on the back of the card, and then Mary actually sent these out to all the people, all the artists, all the people who would have been coming to the island. And then then Drop Everything actually became a virtual drop. So again, this was like the adapting to the pandemic, I guess, and we then created visuals, moving image visuals, which was used as a virtual drop, which took place at the same time that Drop Everything would have took place. And then also we were working with an artist on Domino Records called Ella Minus, who initially was just to do a record cover or some single artwork. During the pandemic, that then adapted to like more in-depth visual moving image, more engaging for an audience. One of the other projects that kind of manifested itself during the whole lockdown period was a music video that we were working on for an electronic producer, artist, DJ called Malcolm. We were pretty much constantly talking every 2 days during lockdown. So through collaborating on a video, we became kind of internet pen pals in a way. The time during lockdown when work was a bit slow, we really got to like focus on this video and make something that's kind of the first time we've ever really experimented what has kind of become synonymous with Dr. Me, of this strip collage effect into a video format. So still not finished yet. That also then led into some work for a charity called No Plastic Waste, trying to reduce plastic in the ocean, where we did a live collage experience where we did like a Instagram live dual screen video, live collage at the top, music by our friends, and was an interesting project, because that then led us to think about how we could do something similar to promote our new book. We did a thing called 24 Hours of Collage, where we literally made collages for 24 hours on Instagram live, which was fun and challenging, and an experience that I'll probably never do again, but I'm definitely glad I did it, especially with trying to manage a 9-month-old son at the same time. But yeah, I think it really helped us kind of push the crowdfunding over the edge, and we managed to get everything together so we can actually print this mega book documenting the 10 years of Dr. Me.